I'd like to start off by saying sorry for stealing from the stores in China. I didn't exercise my best judgment, and I was wrong for that. I apologize to my family, my coaches, my teammates, and UCLA for letting so many people down. I also apologize to the people of China for causing them so much trouble. I'm a young man, however, it's not an excuse for making a really stupid decision. I don't feel sorry for myself, and I've learned my lesson from this big mistake, and I'm 110% sure that I'll not make a bad decision like this one again. I would also like to thank President Trump and the United States government for the help that they provided as well. I'm grateful to be back home, and I'll never make a mistake like this again. I'm extremely sorry for those who I let down, but I'm also very thankful for all the help, love, and support that they provided, and I take full responsibility for my actions, and I'm sorry. Thank you.
Podcast, man. This your man Aldo NICE, and I am I'm joined by a bunch of people. I mean, it's Aldo NICE, his best friends.
I'm high.
A lot.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, look, this might be a little bit off the rails before it even starts because we had homecoming, so we're doing homecoming things. We have this podcast is brought to you by Roger, by Raj Move. I'm just gonna go ahead and say nobody at home came on my face. It's not a real thing, so just keep that to yourself. So I'm gonna let the people who are in attendance.
Wow,
I'm gonna let people who are in attendance introduce themselves, man. Go around the horn right quick.
Are we going in this direction?
That direction works fine.
All right, my name's. We're just gonna say Devon. Devon. I'm not gonna say my last name. I feel like now it's a thing.
Big K.R.I.T in the building, man.
Doc. D Will, aka B Nut, aka.
Why everybody want to come for Lowe's? Podcast is brought to you by Xavier.
I'm a fan, Los. I'm a fan.
Hey, we got a lot of urban black professionals in the house today. And we're going to talk that shit. We're going to talk that homecoming shit. We had Xavier homecoming. Shout out to Xavier. This podcast is brought to you by Xavier. But also, you can tell from that intro clip, LeAngelo Ball, he didn't go to Xavier. He couldn't have possibly went to Xavier. He wouldn't have got it.
Immediately placed in remedial.
Remedial everything, man. We need you to
be like, man, we ain't got no 700 level courses. We gonna have to take some.
We're gonna have to get the phonics out for this cat. Okay, but anyway, so we all out here for the homecoming. You guys from all over the globe. So we all stand at different places. Crazy thing is, we were having a long back and forth. Devon was busting heads about this. Where we gonna stay?
I wasn't busting heads. I was just asking, just basic questions.
So how do you feel, man? How do you feel? Like you went Airbnb over hotel. Is that always the way to go when you're out in these streets, man?
Not this time.
No, definitely not this time. As we sit in the Airbnb, which we purchased, I purchased. The inside looks exactly like it was pictured on the app. Exactly. The outside is somewhere else. Like, they had a picture. I looked at all the reviews, and a number of people that I would not expect to be around the area were very happy with the stay. And they were like, you know what? I felt a little uneasy when I first got there, but things that I should have picked up.
Oh, that's what the reviews were saying?
I should have picked up. I should have picked up.
Well, I mean, this whole area is changing though, man.
It dramatically.
Katrina, everything over there where you used to think you shouldn't go back there.
Now
you might hit somebody. You might hit somebody riding a bike in the middle of the street.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not the
That's
same
true.
neighborhood it once was.
Now, Doc,
I think to go back to the original question that my man asked, I think there's a difference on the situation. For
who's not?
Oh, y'all got additional guests pulling up.
Yeah.
That might be.
We don't have a
Is that the pizza man? Oh, I see a handbag.
Did they?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
He fixed it. He fixed it. I'm
All right,
sorry.
no problem.
No, thank you for coming, man.
All right, no problem.
Man, you don't have to edit this out. This interesting though in the choice of level of the Airbnb.
Say
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry, we were kind of like rudely interrupted because they were telling a story about Airbnb and how lukewarm this is. Well, actually, we actually stand at an Airbnb as well. So myself and the Harry's podcast brought to you by Harry. We stand over there right off of Canal. It's a beautiful, lovely. It looks great on the outside and the inside. So we're in an Airbnb, and I would think that you guys are actually what we refer to as being in a B&B. Because you motherfuckers ain't got no air in here. And that's why the podcast just...
We did just get air, but you're correct. You're absolutely correct. It's the difference between like Airbnb, I'm like, best case scenario, you get like a really nice hotel experience. I feel like this feels like, like, oh, Airbnb, it's not a hotel, you're staying in somebody's home. This feels like somebody's home. Yeah. Somebody's home I wouldn't visit.
Yeah.
Like, if they have a party in the back, you go to that party.
Yeah, I come through and I'll be like, yo, it's really nice what they done with the inside. Like, I'm like, oh, this is nice what they done with the inside.
And then you...
And the sun's going down.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, no, we probably should get home.
Yeah, we got to get this podcast over.
We should probably get home.
So I can get the fuck.
You'll be alright. It's still bad. It's a decent area.
You gotta say, man, look, going to a hotel versus an Airbnb for a situation like homecoming, Airbnb's gonna be the place to go because you get the camaraderie. You get all your boys in one central location. If you do a hotel, you ain't really got it.
No, I mean, I get you. That makes a lot of sense. It's cool to have that communal atmosphere at homecoming.
It's almost like you living here.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Like you back in the dorm.
Yeah, it's like back in the dorm. Yeah.
Or in the shower.
This place is not. Whoa.
Yeah.
Don't disparage this Airbnb.
It's not.
All right, this is not like it's not like the mics.
No.
All right, this is
But
That has to be brought
it's
up.
not like the Shire either, though.
Alright, so we out here for Xavier homecoming. I said Xavier a few times. Like, just FYI, I'm curious, for my information and for everyone else's information. I like to be like a brand ambassador for our school. I like to go in these streets and say, Xavier is
what's an ambassador?
It's like when you got brass and you got a
So you got a brand.
That's a big
brand.
yeah, like you got a brand.
A brand
You use a brand
ambassador.
to get your brand.
I got you.
Alright, there you go. One more
I got
time.
you.
So anyway, as a brand ambassador for Xavier, I mean, I like to talk to students all the time about why I come to Xavier. So I might as well ask you guys, what made your decision to come to XULA, man? Give me a reason why you came to Xavier. Y'all can call all around.
They sent me a t-shirt in the mail, and I was like, what? A t-shirt? Got me.
That quick.
I was cheating, bro.
That quick.
Most of my school was getting like stuff.
Were you only applying at ITT Tech?
Bro, they got to send me a t-shirt. And I was like, I didn't know what Xavier was. I knew about Dylan. I didn't know what Xavier was.
Good thing.
Step foot on this campus until my first day at Howard Hughes. But I had that t-shirt though.
He's
Good
right.
thing
I still
they
got
had
the
like
t-shirt.
white trucks riding around your neighborhood when you was a kid that said free candy. They would have got you. They would have got you, man.
Free anything, huh?
Not the shirt.
How about yourself? What brought you to Xavier? Duff?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be a doctor. And so, like, Xavier is the #1 school to put African Americans into medical school. So that's what I wanted to do. But, of course, I'm in a different route. But,
Anybody else got good Xavier rationale?
It was probably a doctor.
It was being a doctor as well.
I want to be a doctor.
There were other
At the time, Xavier was ranked
Fact.
#1 for putting out students in physics. Black students in physics.
I wouldn't know that.
And then they had some awesome 3-2 programs where you go to Xavier 3 years, then you go to 2 years somewhere else. Different place, could be another HBCU or
You had real good reasons.
PWI, whatever.
I think what's interesting about this is just kind of talking to y'all. Just kind of I'm looking around the room, and none of you guys are from Louisiana, so that's kind of interesting to me that your rationale for coming to Xavier was about the different programs they had at Xavier. So shout out, Xavier's obviously doing something good nationwide to be putting out that whole image of being really good at getting black kids into higher levels. But honestly, I'm from Louisiana. And when I was growing up, I visited Xavier. My aunts came here, and I realized it's a whole bunch of women at Xavier.
Yes.
and it's not a bunch of guys.
They advertise that as well.
And I mean, I think I knew that from the time I was in like middle school that Xavier did Xavier used to be all girls at a point or something? I don't know.
I don't think it used to be all
You don't think it was all girls? Okay, but
The
still.
guy that recruited me said the same thing though. He was like, I didn't know about I knew, I want to go to school to be a doctor. And then when my mom walked away, he was like, hey, you know the ratio.
Yeah.
Ratio of what?
Well,
I was like, that was it. So that was told to me.
Went to Xavier, and then I came to like the little summer programs, you do when you're a junior, senior in high school. So that led to knowing how good of an education Xavier could offer. And then, you see what's to come. You hear the stories of what's to come as far as the ratio.
Right. Well, and then, but also part of the ratio is not just for Xavier.
First off,
y'all can make me edit all day. But it just so happens it's homecoming, so we have a group of young ladies who just walked in as well. And so you're gonna hear something different in the background than we've had in the past. So deal with it. What we were talking about before was what? This alleged ratio? Is that
the ratio? Well, yeah, but the point I was making was that at most HBCUs and just college in general, like women outnumber men. Or young men kind of entering the system, and we just kind of know that in how we, black women and their description and their achievements, right? There's other particular barriers that young men kind of enter before getting into places.
I need to know who this Duff is, because this wasn't the same Duff.
I was just
I'm gonna tell you who this stuff is. First of all, he was sitting back in the chair waiting. She has asked him multiple times, like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm fine." "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." As soon as you finish, because that was like, as soon as you finish the question, he's like, "Inactivated." And so the problem was, I was like, "Yo." I came out of nowhere.
I just know when I was in high school in Louisiana, they used to say Xavier is like, and the ratio they told me was 12-1. So I went to that summer program where I met Dick was at when we were both in SOAR. I was like, what? It was all girls in the program, so that was a different thing. That made me want to come here. But we were just talking to my cousin in the yard, and he was like, when he came, they used to tell him it was a 17-1 ratio. Is that a real thing?
I actually think it was, while we was there, I actually think it got high as like 23. Cause see what they be doing is half of, think about St. Nice when you stayed there. They started putting like 3 in the room when we stayed there. First semester, second semester.
3 dudes in y'all room? Y'all had
second semester.
Y'all had 2 beds still?
No, not in my room. I was good with the, the dorm people.
So some people had 3
people
in 2 beds?
No,
they got the
third bed.
They put in another bed. Don't you disparage my school.
It was a bunk bed and a regular bed. Like niggas
it was an actual bed.
Yeah, I think I might have heard the 23-1 thing too. And then
them beds was
but second semester.
What's y'all get a room by yourself? What did y'all think?
So
people also moved out.
I definitely think that 17-1 is probably right and accurate. We went on an impromptu campus tour. One of the juniors took us around, and she said it was 17-1. And then this other little guy walked by. I was like, yeah, it's like 17-1.
So why the hell would y'all want to come to Xavier?
Because we wanted to be doctors.
Get that education. I love it.
Did y'all get a t-shirt in there?
Get a t-shirt in the mail.
Or some money. They was like,
Doc went there for a shirt. They sent him a shirt in the mail, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm down.
I'm going to Xavier."
Yeah. Number 1 in that school.
I mean, if you add in, because we used to do this, I don't know. I mean, I know me and DeMarcus had this talk.
You want to talk about the ones that was dateable, the dateable girls versus the non?
No. What we would say was,
She hijacked that.
That's what it was. I'm saying after guys 17-1 probably ain't. So it's more like 17.5. That's probably what it was.
I thought it was closer to 23 myself. 1 to 23.
Yeah, I mean, when you take into account like dudes who like dudes and dudes who was kind of lame, I used to think the number was like 100-1.
Okay, thank you. Can we go back to the dudes every time? I feel like
Which one do you think
you
was
gotta kind of be a
more?
little lame to go
Dudes
to
was
Xavier
dudes
for
like
dudes.
I don't know, but I was walking around that bitch like I thought it was 100-1.
You're right.
I mean, I'm just saying. You kind of.
Wait, I don't think Aldo NICE NICE picked up that last point.
No, I was
What'd
like,
she
you
say?
kind of do have to be a little lame to go to Xavier if you're a dude. Like, it wasn't a lot, but the overwhelming
Yeah,
like
you are.
number
I would
of
agree.
like fucking like hot like cool
Cool
dudes
ass niggas,
that didn't really
they fucking
exist. It was like 5 total.
Right.
And nobody wanted to date
Well,
them because
most-
everybody was dating them.
Every
Most of them got
every
kicked out.
dude in
First
my
of all,
vicinity kind of like it was like
I feel
only
like
5.
lame dudes get married too, so it depends on what you want out of life.
Oh shit! I'm not
What you
there.
want out of life?
She just called you lame.
I'm just saying. What you want out of life?
Very enduring quality, you know what I'm saying?
Lame.
I think lameness isn't enduring.
No, but at the time we didn't know that.
We didn't, because
And
we
I'm
were,
like, I should have went back after Layton's too.
and that's why we were hanging out with Wodies, because we were like, they cool, they take you to eat.
Also, the Sanders were much like you saw that.
He
They
bought me
cool,
something
they
from
take you to
Snappy.
eat. That was
What
they
did
take
they call
you to
me?
eat.
Broke college girls.
Yeah.
Y'all were broke college boys.
I'm more curious as to what they're talking about right now. Don't talk over them because this is
My bad.
interesting banter that's happening right here.
That's what we did. We hung out with Wodies because they took you to eat. Let me tell y'all this story. This is gonna be real fucked up. It was like me and like my whole I stayed in Fountain Blue, like the real hood. So one of our friends met this dude. I think he was a drug dealer. We really don't know what his occupation was, but he was like, "Oh, what's up?" He was like, "We're hungry," and he was like, "Oh, let's go to Semolina," and she was like, "Well, I got 4 friends with me." He was like, "All of y'all can go." We go to Semolina. We're eating. He's ordering. No, not him. We order all type of stuff. We order bruschetta. We ordering wine. We really doing it because we these niggas not to pay. That bill came in, nigga was shook, but he paid the bill, and I was like, yes, winning. But it was a little scary.
How much was the bill?
Oh, it probably was about $400 or $500. It was like 10 people eating at Semolina and
Wait.
drinking wine.
It was 10 people, and the bill was only $400 or $500.
I mean, this is New
They
Orleans.
was doing
15 years ago.
college ball and shit.
That was
It was like college
They
ball,
got
but they
bruschetta
weren't in college.
and
But
Sprite.
to the point. Long story to say, that's why we hung out. Y'all wouldn't do that.
I mean, honestly,
No,
now that you say
you're
it that
right.
way.
You
You're right.
couldn't.
At that time, I didn't know what bruschetta was, so I would never take you to go
I
get
don't
it.
know, honey. Don't underestimate the power of Wikipedia.
Yeah, but I mean,
We could
I don't think they had Wikipedia when you were in college.
We didn't have
Oh,
Wikipedia.
okay. What was it? Google?
We barely had Yahoo.
AOL?
Yeah, they did.
We had MySpace.
Google
I learned a lot on Black Planet.
College club. That's what we had. College club.
Black
No, after you put it that way and I heard the whole story, it really just only sounds trifling. That's all.
Did I say I'm not trying to say it wasn't
It's
trifling?
trifling.
I mean, it's the same thing. A dude hanging out, smashing
We
a
had
bunch of chicks.
homecoming.
I went out with Wodies.
We had homecoming. We're having homecoming fun. What's so big about homecoming? What's the big deal about coming back home for homecoming? Anybody? Hop in. Tell me. Let me know.
Just seeing your friends, man.
Mm.
Because for a brief moment,
That was
acting like
That was touching.
That was touching.
That was
That's what it is.
touching.
For a brief moment,
Because you
you
think
ain't got
about
to
it, most
act
people
like
you
you act like
don't
you're
see in a year,
Yeah,
two,
true.
I think for us, because we just did this college tour. I mean, this campus tour, and I think we went to the biology building, and really just seeing those professors are still there. Some of them, and they're not getting paid a whole bunch, but just the amount of people they put on the map, just looking at our class and looking at who that is doing whatever they're doing, and I just think they really care, and they're there because they care. That was really endearing to me, and you don't get that unless you went to HBCU. And Xavier is special because of who they train and what the school stands for. So it was just really emotional a little bit, being there.
That's actually sweet, and the more you talk, the more I'm like, okay, she's a very interesting person. But then you always slide something real trifling in there.
Because I'm trifling. I'm some Mr. Ratchet. I'm some Mr.
You
Ratchet.
absolutely said, these niggas don't get paid a bunch. You just slid it in there.
I'm also in PR, so I know my talking points. I know how to really.
That was the beginning of the introduction.
These niggas, what do
Look
they
at
teach
these
at?
cool
Public
niggas
schools
still
and
at
all
the
this?
end.
These niggas is college professors.
But comparatively speaking, if they went to an Ivy, and a lot of the teachers that prepared us at Xavier could teach at these institutions and make a lot of money and get all these endowments from their research and all this shit, but they choose to teach at Xavier because they believe in the mission of the school. They believe in the student population. That's what I'm saying. It was like a slight, but not really.
I mean, I guess I can go with that.
It's like a big up.
They're not gonna pay me enough.
Shit. Well, you should do it just like the teachers would take a pay cut. If you believed in the mission, you would take a pay cut and come up here and do it.
I believe in it, but I feel like me being where I am does more for Xavier than me doing publicity for Xavier and getting paid no money.
Well, you just, first of all, I don't even like Xavier as an institution, and you just spoke about him. I was like, you know what? I guess they wasn't that bad.
Everybody that knows me knows I love Xavier. I made my company when I got an award at Xavier a couple homecomings ago sponsor the event.
Shout out.
Thank
Wow.
you. 40 under
Humble
40.
brag.
This podcast is brought to you by Top 40 Under 40, especially if you're under 40. Because not everybody was.
Not
under
everybody
40.
was. Wait a minute, 82? 82?
That's why they changed it this year. They changed it this year.
So what?
It's like
Just top 40.
There's no 40.
That's
no
messed
under
up,
40
though.
party.
Because that's the
It's
part that was
the
exciting
Distinguished
about it.
Alumni Award is what it is now.
So I heard they doing 40 under 40 every other year.
Oh, so you won that shit?
I
one year?
did, 2015.
You know, they didn't like my. They said I was a school teacher, and they was like, that ain't cut the bill. That's not the Xavier mission.
I'm not a doctor.
I know, but I mean, you know.
But what is that? That to me is the beauty about Xavier. Like, is you prepare people to go into. And we need teachers. We need male teachers.
I think so.
That's very important. The job you're doing is very
important. This podcast
important.
brought to you by black male teachers. All of them who are in the house. I fucks with y'all. That's cool shit. But I mean, I can't go.
women.
Well, I mean, black women teachers are awesome.
Yes, educators generally.
Educators, right?
I went to Xavier though, right? Like black women educate. Like when I went from Xavier to teaching, it was like the same shit. It was like 17-to-1 ratio. It was like fishing with dynamite. Ooh, I should probably.
And you talking about me being trifling. Yeah, you stuck that in there.
Right.
All right, it's story time, man. I know that's gonna take a little bit of time.
Story time.
I mean, these are my partners. These are my guys. We like to tell funny stories. So I told these guys to think about at least one funny story revolving us in school. And I'm gonna pass the mic around. Whoever wants to hop on. Look, is laughing. He's like, I'm gonna have to edit a lot of shit out.
He got a funny story.
Come in.
The prayer story.
Yeah, this is a story about like our interactions with the host, and so
With the host.
yeah, with the host, Aldo NICE. I didn't
okay.
say his
You can't get ahead.
He said something about a church story. No, he's talking about interacting with the
So we had this was our last year at Xavier. We had already graduated. One of our friends and a person person's in the room, but one of our friends were moving. And so, like, I again, being the person with the truck, if you have a truck, like, I mean, even today, like, if you have a truck, you're going to be the person that's going to be moving people, so on and so forth.
Not if I got a truck.
Pickup truck.
Y'all better call budget. I'm sorry. Next.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going, and we end up moving. We move this friend. We move his partner's stuff into a whole new house, and so that birthed the term of people getting called factors. And so when you're a factor, right? A factor means that like you have to go in, you got to cut for your friends, but it's gonna be some hard ass work to do. And so yeah, that's the factor.
I have no idea what this story was about. Like,
Well,
I mean, it's so many innuendo. I feel like we are not let in on the factor story.
Parts
Can you
of
elaborate?
It, no, that's the fact. That's the fact. Like, yes, there are parts of the story that like we're not going to go into.
We're
detail.
protecting the innocent.
We are protecting the innocent.
All right. He's putting the elephant in the room. She is right a little bit. Dick, you were a factor in school. You were a bit of a factor, man. Like,
but we love him though.
Like, I feel like,
hey, everybody a factor.
in some
At some point in life.
Factor mover.
But there are factors to greater and lesser degrees.
But hence the point why I described it
I
in the
drink
way
because
that
I don't
did.
get food.
So
yeah, I mean, but with that, Dick, we were calling you. I feel like as best friend, best friend weekend. We call it best friend. We talk about best friendships. I feel that you can't have a good circle of best friends if you don't have internal jokes about each other. That's not within all of
It's
us.
essential because if you don't have no joke about them, you're like,
Just straight Jameson?
The doctor knows.
Go ahead.
Like I said though, like that, I think that best friends gotta have like inner conversations about, and that's what we just used to say about you. You were just being a factor a lot that summer when you made this move. You were calling us very early in the morning and being like, "Hey, we need to move the whole house. Pick up the house, big fella, and put the house on the top of the house and move the house next door to the other house, and then pick up all the bricks and move the house."
When the hell was that?
When you move uptown, man, I was
Nobody here watches Ha Davis, just you.
Yeah, I think it was just us.
It's an internet joke. Y'all old as shit.
We are old.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got to tell you this one time. We was getting out the car. We was walking to Family Dollar, and goes, Troy Avenue is going to be here later on.
Not Troy Ave?
Like, who the fuck is Troy Avenue?
Troy Boulevard.
Well, Troy, like, he said Avenue like that was that nigga's full government name.
Troy Avenue.
Troy Joseph Avenue. I'm like, the nigga's name is Troy Ave. He's like, oh, wait a minute.
Can we have
We can call you Troy Ave.
Let me tell y'all what
Mr.
this.
Avenue.
We are retelling stories. Is that still a thing?
What is that? Stories about Alan?
I have a story.
It doesn't involve me.
Oh, I got a story involving you.
Go ahead.
It's supposed to
No, I got a story involving you, but I want to hear her story.
Listen, for the people who are in attendance who aren't avid podcast listeners to our podcast. So our podcast is called Best Friend Weekend, yes.
I'm
And
buying a hat.
it's starring myself and my compadre Raj Move, who isn't here today. But we're doing a satellite pod right now, so we probably never said that. So the people who listen kind of know us as a thing. So.
Got you.
So that's kind of why they're telling stories about funny things.
Well, this is kind of a story about like this group collectively. Like y'all put me on to Devin the Dude. Changed my life.
Okay, you can say that.
He's cool. Has he made any music though?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
He literally just came out with that the other day. Like,
Oh, y'all.
about a month
Okay.
ago.
I'm sure.
Well, can somebody like share it to me in a free file?
recently.
Yeah. You can also just get do you have a streaming service?
I
Spotify?
have Apple Music. Is he on there?
Just type in Devin the Dude, all this stuff.
Me and B Will drinking drinks with
I just don't want to pay. I just don't want to
Hey,
pay for it because I'm cheap.
You're already paying for it if you got Apple. Wait, you
Oh.
got
So Devon, where's your story that you were about to tell?
Oh, wait, do we tell the story?
You're on it. It's on you.
We can talk about the story where we
Talk about the
met.
story when we met it. That's up to you.
I want to hear that one. Because you brought it up earlier.
Yeah, that is true, and I did say I was going to save it for a podcast. But I don't fully remember all the parts of the story. But here's what I do know. We were in class, somebody, that nun, that's going to be her name. I don't like this nun. I don't like, literally, when you were just, when you said earlier, you're like, oh, they're all still up there. And I thought, I looked at, it might be. It might
Took
be.
a picture with her just now.
Yeah, the bottom of it was like,
Definitely
I don't like the way you're taking these classes. I was like, I don't like the way that you care. Like, leave me alone. Like, I'm just gonna take off. So I'm not taking no more labs. I'm not gonna be a doctor. I'm just gonna get my thing, get out. She was like, no, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, show me what it says in the book. She tried to get me kicked out of school, but she did.
That's a running theme in your life.
I tell at HBCUs, as soon as I get in, they're like, we're gonna wait till you get your last year, then we're gonna try to kick you out. Like, that's it.
I know I've been drinking, but that didn't sound like it had anything to do with me.
Oh.
I might be tripping. Am I tripping?
No, you're not.
That was background information on a particular character in the story. The nun. That's what we're gonna call it. So the nun was already giving me shit for not doing the class the way that she wanted it done. And I remember she had called on me one day. I wasn't prepared. She got in me. Like, she literally just went in hard. Then, like, the next day, we sitting in class. She calls on Alan. She's like, Alan, you prepared?
It was homework.
And Alan said, what did you say, Alan?
I told her that I didn't have the homework. And I was like, I would have lied and said that I did have it and left it. But I'm just going to tell you the truth. I just didn't do it last night. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to give you credit because you're being honest. Now, and this fucker.
Now, I would, no. Keep quiet.
This
Wait.
This
Wait. Wait, was Eric in that class? I think
all
Eric
you
was there.
bitches.
Because I do know at that point, because I'm looking over at my friend, I'm like, yo, literally yesterday, she ain't give me credit For the same, I said the same thing he said. She's like, I'm gonna. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Why? Here's the problem. You think for all these years it's like, yo, I just said it's smooth.
I did.
No.
Knowing him, he probably did say a little bit
He
more
might have said
finesse
it
than
smooth.
you.
You probably did. You probably said it finesse, but she didn't give a fuck about finesse. The only reason she gave you the credit, when she gave you that credit, she was looking at me like, yeah, I'll give you the credit. You want okay? I'm like, so all my questions, why it sounded like it was going towards you.
Yeah.
You act like I attacked you. I'm like, yo, this nigga just not gonna turn in the work, and you gonna give him the credit? I'm not even attacking you.
My nigga, you said that out loud in class. This nigga ain't doing the work.
I said that, and you just gonna give him. I said you just gonna give him the credit. You're absolutely right. It was a hater move, but the aggression wasn't towards you. It's like, yo, you're not gonna just give credit to this man because, like, as a punishment to me, you got caught. You got caught in an argument. You got caught in an argument. I stood up and I tossed that. He stood up like that. At that point, at Xavier, we were embattled in some conversations.
You was in theology, baby.
No, my degree is my major is biology and my minor is theology. Remember, I was the first one that did that because they was fighting me. They didn't want to give me my last chemistry class to graduate. Like, they would tell me random thing. I'm like, yo, I got.
So the whole bigger point is,
we should have a lot of stuff going on
a long time ago.
So how did y'all
I told you just wanted it.
Because that's the point, right? When they told me,
we still didn't on this. We ain't know each other for a minute. I'm like, oh, they was just.
They stayed around the corner.
They with extra credit ass nigga over here. I'm like, oh, here comes Mr. Extra Credit. Like, oh.
Whenever y'all brought up Devon, I'd be like, oh, that's that hating ass nigga.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
You did.
That's what it was. I was like, and you would justify it, but I wasn't going to apologize for it. It wasn't directed at you.
You missed your chance to be a real nigga.
It was directed at the. If we go up to the school, I'll get with this nut real quick.
We on air.
I said I'm gonna talk to her. I didn't talk to her. I didn't do anything back in the day to her. I talked to her. I said what I need to be. I said what needed to be said. I'll say what needed to be said 15 years later too.
Yo, I think she body slammed you. We just saw her today.
Nothing. She wanted to body slam when she was done it back then.
She looks the same.
She looks the same.
She does. Exact same.
Okay, so some other couple of things I don't want to get at before, and I'm gonna say before we get out of here, but I read two stories in the last month. One of them was that Texas State University is suspending all of the Greeks after a pledge died last week. And about a month ago, LSU Greek died because they were playing a drinking game called Bible Study, and they were all taking these shots and they died. So probably you may or may not have heard about these stories, right? And I'm gonna aim to not, because these weren't black fraternities. I mean, if it happens in a black fraternity, I feel like that would have been. I don't know if it would have been bigger news, but I think we would have knew about it. As opposed to I think it's bigger news that it happened to these two white frats in Texas State and at Louisiana State. But I don't necessarily think that we would necessarily know about it in all cases. So it just got me starting to think about black Greek life versus white Greek life and what they get to do versus what we don't. And I mean, I know, Dick, I just was talking to you. You didn't have much to say about stories. But what do you think about the difference between the two?
Well, definitely, white frat, they do a lot of wild shit. I mean, I'm gonna just put it out there, to the people that's pledging, it's some wild shit. I was going to Xavier, and then I started going to Tulane, and we had this fountain in front of the damn thing. Coming to class one morning, they had a bunch of motherfuckers with a towel on, taking the towel off. Jumping naked in the fountain in front of the damn engineering school. I was like, yeah. Not understanding that. Went to class, so we don't do stuff like that.
Well, I'm saying, so the biggest difference is white Greek life is college only.
That's the biggest.
Yeah, black Greek life is for life.
Right.
That's the biggest difference.
I mean, I don't pay my dues. Does that say?
But here's the difference. You're gonna say I am a Sigma. You're not gonna say I was.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's
Right.
Or the police.
yeah, they do say that.
Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
main difference.
I mean, I know that's a major difference, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, it just kind of, it was different to me when I saw the story, and I was kind of thinking about how they would have reported, how they would have reported it.
It would make the news, because I know some folks who made the news in our particular, for black organizations. It makes the news, but the difference is they tend to hold those folks legally liable for it, the folks who did it. So they don't shut the whole everything down. They might suspend a chapter, might have like a moratorium, whatever it is, on any lines for a couple of years, but they then do the legal aspect against the people that did it. You know what I mean?
You're talking about in black fraternity?
Yeah.
As opposed to,
well, I don't even know if they have any.
I know white fraternities, they like damn near shut the whole shit down.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have any kind of legal stuff going on.
So you don't think it's a legal issue a lot of times? But it gotta be.
They might say, oh, you're right, because they didn't play.
So I have a question.
I was like, don't know them.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, with that as an underpinning, I mean, because I think that people know that hazing happens, and sometimes it's Black Greek letter organizations supposed to be non-hazing organizations.
Our membership intake process.
Exactly. There's that talking point that somebody in PR made up. Shout out to my PR professionals. But how do you then communicate that to the people who, want to be involved, like to the people who are trying to be like the pledgees or the people who are interested in the organization? Like, what do you say to them to ensure that the people who are in charge of their process are looking out for their best interests? And at the end of the day, it's about brotherhood or sisterhood, and there is a process that you have to undertake, but we're not trying to kill you in the process. So what is it that you say to them?
I would say, given the fact of the legal aspects of the last 20 years probably, it's just that it's a process. In order to be involved in the process, you have to go through the process training. And everybody involved is involved. That's how you keep it good.
I think the problem is, though, with most of the violations and hazing incidents, a lot of the times it's not necessarily the people who are in charge of the process. Mm-hmm. It's people who are not necessarily active still who come back and.
But as the person who is in charge of the process, how do you maintain
that's where you have to have a strong personality, a strong dean who is going to be able to bring those people in and let them know, hey, this is the correct process for you.
Well, with that being said, you're talking about trying to tell a 20-year-old to tell
a
35-year-old
50-year-old that he can't beat the fuck out of whatever.
Yeah.
So how does that happen in practice?
I think it's a collective effort. I can only speak to this and say that I think that the way you conduct the membership intake, i.e. the way you pledge someone, is the same way.
Hey, Jessica?
No, that was my phone. Hoping y'all wouldn't bring attention to it.
Basically, the same way that you pledge someone is a reflection based upon how you got pledged. So if you pledged a certain type of way and you have a certain type of demeanor about yourself, you're gonna push that off on the next people that you have to pledge. And you got to get with your people and make sure you're not going to get in trouble. Because for us, it never really was about, let's not do X, Y, Z. It was about, let's not get in trouble. And I think everybody kind of has a little sense in their head about, when shit's going too far, to be like, hey, look, stop it. I've seen somebody, they grab, no, this wasn't even pledging. Okay, let me shut up. No, but I actually seen somebody slam my head against the wall close to the window.
You're telling somebody, you're not going to try to get somebody into your organization if you don't want them in your organization.
So I have a question. So what's the goal?
Hold up. One more time. Say that again, because I think that was I don't think I've heard it phrased that way before.
You're not going to try to get somebody in your organization if you don't want them in your organization.
So don't even take them online.
Because so is the goal to get them through completion, or is the goal to make them work so hard and see who's really wanted?
I can speak for African American.
You're gonna select someone you think that's gonna get through the process.
You want them to get through.
You want them to get through, because ultimately you want them to be your brother,
right?
Or your, or your sister, or whatever.
But at the same time, people are. I don't know. It's kind of strange because you want them to get through, but I think that every fraternity kind of has a different idea of what the intake process should entail. What should we want to have?
And we don't have have
'Cause they
anyone
have-
from a sorority to weigh in right now.
Yeah, but
like,
they have like legacy. Just like, you know, legacy.
So legacy doesn't happen on the fraternity side?
I would say it. Well, I guess it
does.
do, but it's. Yeah.
I mean, it I
Wait a
don't
minute.
know.
So do you use? I thought she was asking. Are you using the pledging process to weed
Out? That's
people,
my question.
or are
No.
you saying like,
Once you're,
if I don't want
you're
you
gonna
in,
sign up for the pledging
if I
process,
don't want
we
you in,
Well, see,
you're not
back
gonna
in
even
the
get on.
60s
That's
and
my-
70s and stuff, that's what they actually did. The
Okay.
pledging process would weed out.
Okay.
That's why you did it.
Do you think so? I mean, I've never heard of it.
No, because there's been a lot of famous
But I still
people.
think think it goes to the odds, like this question of, okay, so there are 10 people up there. You decide I don't want that one. Like I'm only going, just hypothetically, I'm only going to take these 9. Now, I'm going to let all 10 go through, but it don't matter what this one do. I'm going to make it hard on them. I'm going to make sure
That
you
sounds
get
like,
out.
I mean, that looks like
But isn't the
school
goal
days.
of the line to get everybody through?
As opposed to the other way, where you're like, I see 10 that I want to take.
Like, gotta get an application.
But that's my point. I think that's what she was asking. Because the other thing is like,
You hand the application.
let's say I have 10 there, and they go through the process, and I find, you know what, I really only like 5 of these people.
And I
You know what I mean?
speak to
That's
that
what
as well.
I mean. It could go
Because
either
sometimes
way.
we've had people online. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, I don't
thought
like
that I
dudes.
wanted this person.
I don't like dudes no more.
But I changed my mind.
So you need to obviously like who's in your organization. And
Right.
it should not be about who you like, it's about who's going to uphold the ideals of the founding organization.
Yeah.
The problem with a lot of organizations is they try to bring their homeboys who ain't shit. You hiring chefs. Excuse me. You're hiring dishwashers when you need chefs.
Right.
And therein lies the issue. But I think also, a lot of times we unfortunately have become, and I think this is the panhandle as a whole, have become caricatures that we then reinforce.
That's
it's
that's like the little shit that people be drawing, like when you go to the fair.
Yeah, nigga, we know the characters.
Second
I have another question.
Hey, but the
Wait,
little
he was still
plastic
answering the
things-
first one.
Yeah, let me answer.
He was still answering the first one. Now that we know what character is.
Doc, now that we know the character.
yeah. So I think that's the problem. To me, I find it annoying. So I don't know if this happens to you, but I'm annoyed, and I'm annoyed when people find out I'm a doctor. They assume I'm an alpha. It's like, what the? Nah, man.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with that? Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, so I'm saying, so it's like I didn't play sports.
When you get out into the corporate world, it's a little different because everybody had their own impression of different Greek,
exactly.
Greek letter organizations, but a lot of them be the the white fraternities and stuff. Like my one boss, I can't even call his damn a name because everything got to do. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, he was cool as hell, and he was in this one very popular white fraternity, and pretty much all of the people I worked with that came from that fraternity, I was like, oh, okay, they're pretty cool. They drink a lot. They do stuff. Yeah, but that's them.
I mean, yeah, I think that was interesting though. What Doc was just saying about organizations just kind of living up or living down to the stereotypes that they have, and just trying to be that way. I think that's interesting. So I only got like 2 more things. I don't want to belabor the point because it is homecoming. I want to get back to doing homecoming shit, but I want to
You
make
don't
sure.
want no problems. Sorry.
So the thing, I noticed most of you guys, and I mean, I just kind of was breaking down y'all resumes. I went on LinkedIn and saw what you people do in real life. And
Do I
all y'all
went
went no, yours is inactive.
Thank you. Okay.
So the thing is, I saw that all of y'all went to Xavier and y'all were all proud. Y'all Xavier proud. You know, y'all HBCU brothers and everything. But all of y'all, you grad schools, none of you went to black grad schools.
No.
What's wrong with that? Hold up. Why did you stop?
First off, that's a lie.
Hold up. Why?
That's
did
a
you?
lie.
Yeah, he went to
He
get right.
did.
That's a lie.
He did.
Most of these niggas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These
niggas
We
left.
talking about these niggas.
They left.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4.
We talking about me included with these niggas.
But I
I
did
did
go
not
to an
either.
HBCU
I will say this: mine was cheaper.
for grad.
My
Fiscal
postgraduate was cheaper. It was Xavier. A semester in Xavier was a year there. Also, I'm talking about this.
Also what?
I was tired of the administration. Like I Just
They tire you out.
Black people?
You ain't like none.
No, just
You didn't like that none either?
Like HBCUs in general. Like I was expecting this completely different thing. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go in here and change classes and get classes and do this and register for class. Fuck, I'm gonna be here 3 days trying to do this.
A different world never had that episode where they didn't give me a financial aid.
What I needed, and I was gone in 25 minutes. I was like, holy shit, that took me 2 days.
They missed that episode.
Well, I mean, but
A different world never had the missing financial aid check episode. They never had that episode. I was like, I wish I had seen that. Like Janice, like standing out, like yo.
So I would also say, from my particular field, every black grad school was a private grad school, and that was gonna get a lot of cooling, a lot. And I didn't need it. I get my check back.
So y'all got y'all black experience in undergrad, then y'all was ready to leave. I mean, I see.
You didn't want to give black dollars to the news. I understand.
Exactly, I understand.
I get it.
You didn't want your financial aid to go towards black schools. I feel you.
I don't know. I would say I wanted a difference in experience, and I went to Tulane. It was great. But I was prepared for Tulane because of Xavier.
Definitely.
That too. Because you can handle anything. Here's the deal. You can take a person.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was.
No, well, here's the deal. But you can handle adversity because you had to do it to get you that. I know what it feels like to be homeless.
Y'all gonna be humble, but I was smarter than all my other classmates because I went to Xavier.
Xavier?
We're talking in small stuff.
I was smarter than them.
That's true.
Small stuff doesn't phase you.
That's true.
I mean,
make it happen.
You got the Xavier pride thing going. I mean, I honestly, anytime I'm out in the streets and somebody say they went to Southern or Grambling or TSU or and look, I'm naming names. And Prairie View and whomever else, other HBCUs, I'm like, nah, I went to Xavier though. Like, that's kind of why it bothered me when people be like, I went to Morehouse or Howard because they feel like they're better than Xavier.
They're not.
They don't know shit.
Nah. Xavier like on some black Ivy League HBCUs.
Did y'all go to y'all's homecoming for the other schools?
No.
I
don't even give Tulane money.
But I did it. It's only one time.
I give Xavier money.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. I don't give money.
I just started giving Xavier money.
They don't need no money, right?
So why you don't give Xavier money? I mean, Tulane money because you feel like they established Xavier like a little child in the
Because I give Xavier money because Xavier's where my heart is.
Black, we poor, we need money.
Xavier is where my heart is.
She won't even work for Xavier.
Okay.
That's what she said. I said, you should work at the publicity department at Xavier.
She was like, absolutely not.
She turned it down.
She was like, I'm not working with colors.
I feel like, but where I am in life, I'm doing more for Xavier being there than being there.
That's true.
Because now you can be like, you went to Xavier, you can do that.
I would say this. We all have issues. We all had issues with the schools. Some to varying degrees. I think he by far had it the worst.
It might be me. You know, HBCUs don't agree. But I still give back. But I just happen to say FU to particular individuals. One happens to be another.
We just trying to get rid of this stuff. They're trying to get rid of HBCUs.
Like she got a direct line to God.
If they need them. So I mean, we gotta get back. No matter how, and I tell folks,
you got to.
Howard folks, like, you gotta get money, and don't just give damn money back to Morehouse, Stubborn, and Howard and Hampton. You gotta get money back to where
you
where
got
you
to.
went. You gotta
I
get
didn't go
money.
to
If you went to one of them folks, give money to
I'm not gonna give them money.
Yeah,
I mean, I made a video a while back where I was talking about when they had, like a couple years ago, Xavier had Steve Harvey calling it, Tabby Smiley, Xavier had Ricky Smiley.
Especially when you do give back and then they still send you another call.
Right? I thought Love Gives Xavier Day was like once a year. I feel like that bitch has secretly become twice and you niggas don't know.
I think they started it as a once a year thing, but then they like, let's do it again.
The admin part ain't never been right.
Okay.
It's never been.
I hate the fact that they lost my yearbooks from the time I was like, these motherfuckers didn't give me my senior yearbook, freshman yearbook till I was
Nobody in this room probably got a yearbook.
I got a combined yearbook with like 4 years in one edition.
They gave me an award and then said I didn't graduate. But I mean, your yearbook thing is really important too.
It is.
No, your yearbook thing is cool. That's really.
But they didn't let you graduate.
They let me graduate later. They called me and was like, oops, our mistake. You graduated. By the way, we also gave you an award for that Men on the Move project. And then when they gave me the award, it came with a check. It came with a $3,000 check. And that check bounced. Then I had to roll them off and they sent me another check. I don't want to disparage. This was a long time ago. They got a lot of things. But no.
That was a good program.
because I attack specific individuals in the program. Like I feel like at other schools, like there's stuff that goes on at white schools all the time. People be like, that's that person at that school. They never go, oh, Tulane really messed up, like that kind of thing. So there are individuals at Xavier. Xavier as a whole, I'll be like, yo, people ask me, like, you go to Xavier? I'm like, absolutely, you should go to Xavier. Here are the particular reasons why. Same thing with TSU is the same thing. I'm like, they have excellent programs there. Now, there are individuals I tell them, yo, if you see that person, you should slap them or don't talk to them. I wouldn't tell people to slap them nothing though. That's wrong. I'll take care of that on my own.
No, slap
slap them nothing. But my whole thing is, like, there is a thing when stuff happens at HBCU where it's like, oh, that's because it's an HBCU. And I'm like, no, it's administration unchecked at any location. ITT Tech just shut down. I don't not compare the two, but I'm like
ITT Tech next.
I come at ITT Tech because they took a bunch of money and they didn't have any oversight and they shut it down and nobody went, oh, look at that white school, because they don't associate ITT Tech as a white school. But I'm talking about other big schools have stuff done and they just weather it because they're like, oh, well, you know, we got rid of that one guy. That one guy stole that much money and it was just one guy? Yeah, it was just that guy.
Do y'all think we had a legit HBCU experience without having sports? I'll check you that basketball.
Band or some shit.
A football team without.
So you really gonna disparage? No.
I was wondering.
I think it's different. It's not. People always ask me why I'm going back to homecoming for what? I'm like, you ain't got no football game. I'm like,
so the reason why
football game is like
the reason why people ask
me
about Xavier, I go, if you want to go be a doctor, if you want to whatever, go to Xavier. It's the spot to be now.
I say 14-1.
If you're trying to go and be, if you're trying to go and be like trying to relive different world, then don't go to Xavier.
Xavier's not the place.
Go to Hampton, where it was filmed.
Wait, it might be that way now. We was up there today. I was like,
we got built.
Oh my God, we were up there today, and the
I'm like,
they built two big buildings to walk across. What the fuck?
They had visitors in the female dorms.
Like I kind of want to say,
I was like, what?
I used to visit.
That was a big thing.
We only had male visitors on open house day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about they can legally out of the open do it.
All the stuff that went on.
Remember that dude that had the stairs that went up to his window?
Outside, we had to have dates in the middle of cases.
Ridiculous.
So yeah.
All right, look, I'm pushing up against it. I'm over an hour, so, and I mean, I guess after the editing, that's inevitably gonna happen.
It's gonna edit down to 8 minutes.
From y'all turning this,
you might have about 20 minutes.
It's gonna edit down to like 8 minutes worth of actual dialogue.
I mean,
you gotta edit a lot of stuff.
Y'all got better as time progressed, but y'all had the people come in to fix the air. Y'all had visitors walking in the middle. Y'all did a lot of. Y'all was doing a lot of things. This is poor planning on behalf of the people who got this house. I'm happy I'm not in this bitch with y'all. But
it's an excellent location. That's a great backyard. I'm gonna give a great review.
How many stars?
You did not describe the neighborhood and such, but you know, I mean, overall,
hey,
but if you call the person, like every place they have, the inside looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like they got a deal on these chandeliers. They're like, no, we got 100 chandeliers. Just put it up in every spot.
We got to get in the Airbnb.
And that sign. That sign is in a few.
The sign is great.
That's a nice sign.
And y'all can see it. It says French.
I like that.
That's pretty
see. All right, the last thing, my little cousin was hitting me up. She hit me up this week and said, "Hey, did you listen to the Big K.R.I.T album?" And I just kind of want to say, I want to say one thing about it, and I'm gonna let y'all guys put your 2 cents on it.
South.
People kind of like, I'm a hater, like, right? I'm a rap hater. Like they say this all the time. Or maybe it's just I got a high threshold for what I think is dope or not. And I don't really fuck with the Jay-Z's and the and definitely the Kendrick Lamar's, definitely not the J. Cole's. I just don't. It's not my thing.
Are you a Future
Hold
fan?
up, I like Jay-Z. Yeah, absolutely.
He's a Future fan.
But I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna put Jay-Z way higher than them. But my thing with Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, and I put J. Cole over Kendrick Lamar. The reason is because I feel like you have to make music that's palatable to my ears. It has to fucking bump. It has to sound like I can put it in my car or listen to it at work and it's got me feeling a certain way and give me lyrics. I feel like Kendrick Lamar's only lyrics, And I feel like J. Cole a lot of times is only lyrics, so it doesn't come across palatable to my ear, so I don't really fuck with it. Like,
you heard the Forest Hill Drive?
Look, man, like, okay, so when people were going insane on that song about his first time, I was like, what's the replay value on that song? You play it one time, you hear the hook, you're like, oh, this interesting, and whatever the fuck.
That's true.
So my whole thing about Big K.R.I.T,
there's other stuff on there though.
the thing I'm getting to about Big K.R.I.T is this. That's the fucking type of album I want to listen to.
I like Big
Because I feel like he giving you that shit, them lyrics, and his country rap tune.
And it's something you can play over.
UGK or something.
Like that 1999, because I feel like that's a club hit.
It starts off strong
right
as
now.
hell.
So you say it slows down at the end of the
I feel
album?
like it starts off strong as hell, then it kind of tapers.
It's a double album. It's long.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I don't know. I was on spot.
That
is the difference between download
and I think there's only been one good double album, and that's Biggie. So that's it.
That was the only good double album?
Yeah.
Not Zero versus the World? No.
Name another one.
You don't think all eyes on me?
No. All eyes.
The Last Done?
You can knock off.
The Last Done? TRU? The first TRU album. No. Freak Hole.
But wait.
Freak Hole.
You remember when A-Ball dropped that triple album? I remember my homeboy was
Trey
like,
drop like a
A-Ball
four-
did
a
that.
four album?
And Trey did drop a 4.
A 4-ski, dog.
Yeah.
So y'all just not y'all on the Big K.R.I.T, but y'all don't.
I like Big K.R.I.T.
I drove it to the hood. It made sense. I drove it out here.
Look, man.
Play us out. Put Big K.R.I.T on.
No, I'm not. Okay.
No.
Yeah, and everything my fucking thing.
She should be a permanent guest on the
I think so.
She could be, but
because she really tried to take control of it.
She did. I'm gonna have to.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, man.
That wasn't your moment.
That was.
I
think it is like.
Hey, man, it's chaos.
Most of the girls.
It's chaos.
No, not yet.
Most of the girls just walk out the podcast like, can y'all end it?
Bitch.
The backyard is great. Let's go to the backyard.
Go to the backyard.
All right.
Hit her with nothing nice to say.
Guys, thank you for joining Best Friend Weekend.
That's
I think if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. Man.
I was gonna say something nice about the Best Friend Weekend.
So the thing about nothing nice to say is you don't say shit. I say nothing nice to say.
It's like real time.
It's like real time.
Like Bill Maher's thing.
It's like my thing.
Okay.
Like, you know how Bill Maher flashes on people when they talk dirty
She
shit.
does.
Yeah.
You should do more like Bill Maher. You should have told me to shut up a long
I should have called you a nigga. Oh,
Bill
you
Maher.
should. Alright, cue to nothing nice to say.
You know, they say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Nothing nice to say with Aldo NICE.
He about to rap.
Alright, for those of y'all who don't know the story, 3 UCLA basketball players, Cody Riley, Jalen Hill, and LeAngelo Ball, least of all LeAngelo Ball, right? Were caught boosting sunshades out the mall in China. Now, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the kiosk because they said it was like $2,000 worth of shades. That's a lot of money. I mean, I've been on a trip before with students saying, little niggas be tripping. You can only do so much as an adult, but it's really your responsibility to take care of kids. So, I mean, like, if we went on a trip and my boys were stealing, I think I'd be responsible too. I don't hear any chaperones from UCLA or the coaches taking any accountability for this. But that's neither here nor there. What UCLA should do in this moment is take a page out of Donald Trump's book. When asked about the shoplifting, just say, fuck, it was just China. You don't need to worry about that. That's the same thing Roy Moore doing right now in the Senate race in Alabama. My nigga, that's the new rule. All you do is avoid the question and keep on doing what you're doing. And you get away with it. Trump, I was just grabbing a little pussy. Roy Moore, I was just fucking these little girls. And besides, the legal age of consent in Alabama is 16. UCLA, it was just that kiosk. Somebody asked me recently to do a podcast about, hashtag Me Too and stuff like that, and the barely legal stuff I might have did in the past. And I said, no, nigga. I mean, I know the president basically admitted to sexual assault when he said grab him by the pussy, but I'm not Trump. I'm just a regular dude, and I can take a page out of that man's book on all accounts. I'm never admitting shit for nothing I ever did in the past, man. Just avoid the question, because really, I don't have nothing nice to say a lot of things that I done in the past. And I might do in the future. So I won't say nothing at all. I'm gonna put y'all out on some little dialogue a Xavier legend is gonna break some new music for us. Your favorite rapper. I'm gonna send it off in the dialogue. Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. So it's just gonna go off with that. And I'll check y'all out next week. I hope the homecoming edition wasn't too crazy. I'm trying to get it. Alright.
Some of y'all too company, but see the game institution is lame. Off in my zone and I'm just bringing the plane. Another fine one come by, I'm out now shooting the game, man. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm never trying to miss. I'm trying to be like Swish. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm never trying to miss. I'm trying to be like Swish. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm never trying to miss. I'm trying to be like Swish. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying to shoot my shot. I'm never trying to miss. I'm trying to be like Swish. My hands staying up now, calling plays, calling plays. The indirect, direct message stays where it's staying at. See, fine thing, got you thinking. Don't think on it too long. Drain down the clock before you blink and see girls too. They be thinking similar worlds.